It was an unseasonably warm afternoon in early spring when my son-in-law, Alex, pulled up unexpectedly to the family farm. I had been alone for days, enjoying the solitude while my husband was away on business, and my daughter, Emma, was out of town for a work conference. The quietness of the farm, punctuated by the occasional moo of a cow or the chirp of birds, had been a welcome reprieve from the chaos of family life. When Alex stepped out of his truck, I felt a mix of surprise and curiosity. He'd never visited the farm without Emma before. Dressed in his usual jeans and a flannel shirt, he looked slightly out of place yet perfectly at home, his city-slicker demeanor softened by the country backdrop. "Hey, Mom," he said with a smile, using the nickname he had adopted for me since he married Emma. "Thought I'd drop by and help out a bit." I didn't think much of it at first. Alex was known for being considerate, and perhaps he thought I could use the extra hands. Still, his sudden appearance felt different. As the day unfolded, that difference became more pronounced. We started with simple chores, feeding the animals, mending a broken fence, and clearing out an old shed. Alex was unusually chatty, reminiscing about his childhood, his dreams, and even moments he'd shared with Emma. He spoke with a depth of emotion I hadn't seen in him before. I chalked it up to the farm's serene atmosphere loosening his usually reserved demeanor. But as the sun dipped lower in the sky, the mood shifted. After finishing the chores, we settled on the porch with glasses of iced tea. The golden light bathed the fields, creating an almost magical aura. Alex turned to me, his gaze intense. "You know, it's been tough lately," he began, his voice tinged with vulnerability. "What's been tough?" I asked, concerned. "Emma and I," he said after a pause. "We're struggling. She's so busy with work and I feel like I'm losing her." I tried to offer some words of comfort, but his eyes held mine for a moment too long, and an unspoken tension filled the air. I brushed it off, attributing it to his emotional state. Yet, a seed of unease planted itself in my mind. As the days passed, Alex's visits became frequent. He'd stop by with excuses about needing to fix something or check in. While I appreciated the help, his attentiveness began to feel overly personal. He'd linger during conversations, his compliments more frequent and pointed. "You're so easy to talk to," he'd say, or "I can see where Emma gets her warmth from." One evening, after a particularly long day, we found ourselves sitting by the fireplace. The flickering flames cast shadows across the room as Alex opened up again. This time, his words carried a weight I couldn't ignore. "I feel closer to you than anyone else right now," he confessed. "You understand me in a way Emma doesn't." I froze, unsure of how to respond. A storm of emotions raged within me: discomfort, guilt, even a flicker of flattery. I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel a connection with Alex, but this was my son-in-law. The line he was treading was dangerous, and I knew it. "Alex," I began carefully, "I think you're just feeling overwhelmed. Emma loves you deeply, and whatever you're going through, you need to work through it with her." He nodded, but his eyes betrayed his inner turmoil. "You're right," he said, but his tone lacked conviction. That night, I couldn't sleep. Memories of Alex's words replayed in my mind. I felt torn between my loyalty to Emma and the strange, unexpected bond forming with Alex. I resolved to keep my distance, but fate had other plans. A week later, Emma returned from her trip, her usual effervescence dimmed by exhaustion. She barely noticed the subtle tension between Alex and me, too preoccupied with catching up on work and household responsibilities. I hoped her presence would steer Alex's focus back to his marriage, but things only grew more complicated. One evening, Emma went to bed early, leaving Alex and me alone in the kitchen. He lingered as I cleaned up, his eyes watching me intently. When I turned to face him, he stepped closer. "I can't stop thinking about you," he whispered, his voice trembling. "Alex, this has to stop," I said firmly, my heart pounding. "You're Emma's husband. Your family." His face crumpled, and he took a step back. "I'm sorry," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "I didn't mean to make things difficult. I don't know what to do." I urged him to seek counseling, to talk to Emma, to find a way to repair their relationship. He nodded, promising to take action. But as he left that night, I couldn't shake the feeling that our secret, his feelings, my silence would forever alter the dynamics of our family. The following weeks were a blur of strained smiles and careful conversations. Alex and Emma started therapy, and their relationship seemed to improve on the surface. But the unspoken tension between Alex and me remained, a quiet undercurrent threatening to surface at any moment. Months later, Emma confided in me that their marriage was stronger than ever. "Thank you for being there for Alex while I was away," she said, her eyes filled with gratitude. "I don't know what we'd do without you." Her words felt like a dagger to my heart. I'd done my best to navigate an impossible situation, but the guilt lingered. The farm, once my sanctuary, now held memories I couldn't escape. In the end, life moved on, but the scars of that period remained. Alex and I maintained a cordial distance, unspoken truths hanging between us like a shadow. The farm continued to thrive, a silent witness to the secrets and complexities of human relationships. And though I'd done everything to preserve my family, I knew some wounds would never fully heal.